Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
It is Tebow time.
Oh, there it is.
You have a new worst nightmare. It is no longer Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. It is now Tim Tebow. Welcome back, Tim.
I had that in baseball, too, for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
How'd that work out for you?
When he made the All-Star team in AA, I'd say it worked out really well.
Really?
Way to go. Here we go.
Wow. Skip is fired up today, and I understand why, because I cannot believe it. But we are leading the show with Tim Tebow because it looks like it is actually Tebow time, like Skip said, in Jacksonville. The Jaguars are reportedly on the verge of signing the former Heisman winner to a one-year deal to play tight end this upcoming season. The 33-year-old Tebow hasn't been on an NFL roster since he spent preseason in 2015 playing for Chip Kelly's Eagles, and now he'll have a chance to make the team under his former college coach, Urban Meyer. Shannon, even though Skip is fired up, I start with you. Is this a good idea or bad one?
Hold up, time out. Why are you showing B-roll of a guy playing quarterback that's a tight end? Where to play it? No. I need to see some plays of him catching the pass.
I saw him running the football.
No. You see him taking the direct snap. I want to see. Now, when I watch clips of Kyle Pitts and I watch of all the Travis Kelce and Darren Waller, they're not throwing passes. They're catching passes.
You're missing the point.
No, the point is that you look. Let's not beat around the bush. Everybody knows why he got this opportunity. Everybody knows that. He's from Jacksonville. They trying to sell tickets. Shad Khan is trying to sell tickets. They haven't been an item basically since Brunell has been there with Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell, Fred Taylor. That's a very, very long time. His ex-college coach is now the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we know what this is, Skip. Let's not make this more like here's a guy that was very deserving of an opportunity. Do you know if I could just like open my inbox and show people how many guys that have played college ball that ask me, Shannon, do you know how can I get a try? How can I get a walk-on? I was a this, I was a that. Do you know anybody? I got nothing. I got nothing. Here's a guy that has not played in 6 years, has not played in the regular season game in 9 years, and going to switch positions at the highest level and gets an opportunity. Really? So once I heard this, I was like, he's getting signed. This is not well, he worked out and we'll see. He was going to get signed all along. You know that. I know that, Skip. And so I'm just trying to figure out how many guys you think have caught. I want to know Urban. Urban has been a head coach probably, 25 years, Skip? 25 years at the college level. I want to know how many guys at Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, and Ohio State had not played football in 6 years. And Urban Meyer gave them an opportunity to play football. But that's what he did for Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow hadn't played in 6 years. And he's going to switch position, a position he's never played. And he gets an opportunity. We know what this is. Not that he can play. He thought he was a great athlete. Oh, Tim Tebow's a great athlete. Try baseball, what happened? Now, Tim Tebow is addicted to fame. Tim Tebow cannot let it go. That's what this is. He's the same guy that he was in Denver. He loves the attention. He craves the fame. He craves the limelight. And here we are again. But guess what? I believe there's a better than 60% chance that he makes the team. Why? Because Urban is the guy. What is he? Oh, he's great for the locker room. What? Ain't nobody. I was in a locker room for 14 years. I was one of the dominating boys. Ain't nobody listening to a third string, a backup tight end to get motivated. And, he going to help Trevor Lawrence. Help Trevor Lawrence do what? Really? Man, they make all the excuses. He's going to do this, this, and this. If he could do all of that, he'd still be in the league. If he could play, he can't. He couldn't. And you need to face the fact. He needs to face the fact. At some point in time, he's going to run out of coaches that gets an opportunity to be a head coach and can give him an opportunity. You okay. You lived out your dream. You played quarterback because they asked him. You remember when they was going to trade him, John Elway was going to trade him. See, this is a very little-known fact. They asked him, Tim, where do you want to go?
It's not a little-known fact. Everybody knew that.
What did they know?
About Jacksonville or the Jets?
Oh, and he wanted to go where?
It was widely reported.
He wanted to go where? New York, because it was a bigger market. Because not that they got a chance to play.
Better team.
Skip, better team or a chance to play. I thought he wanted to play. I thought Tim Tebow was going to change the fortune.
A little-known fact that I reported on ESPN was that Rex Ryan called Tim Tebow and said, I will give you a chance to win the starting job, and he got no chance to win the starting job from Mark Sanchez.
Another little-known fact. If you don't mind me asking, can you tell me the agent? Who's Rex Ryan's agent and who's Tim Tebow's agent?
What does that matter?
Oh, okay. Since we little-known fact.
What does that mean? Well, apply it to what we're talking about.
You know
it means what?
Jimmy Sexton represents Rex Ryan.
Yep.
He represents Tim Tebow. That's how it works.
Then how did Rex Ryan, a Jimmy Sexton client, screw Tim Tebow?
Ain't nobody screwed me because Skippy couldn't play.
Oh. Wait, are we talking about the same Tim Tebow who took your Denver Broncos at 1-4 to a division championship and beat Ben Roethlisberger by throwing for 316 yards in a playoff game? Are we talking about that guy who can't play?
Skill.
Are you kidding me?
So why
did you put on blinders?
So
what did you not see?
If he was so good, why wouldn't anyone else give him a chance?
Are you finished yet?
I'm finished.
Oh, good. It's my turn. So the question is this a good idea or a bad idea? And the answer is this is a great idea for Urban Meyer and Jacksonville right here, right now, and it has exactly zero to do with selling tickets. They have the first pick in the draft. They have a generational quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. They have Urban Meyer making his first big splash in pro football. They don't need to sell any more tickets in Jacksonville. They need to win football games, and Tim Tebow will, number one, make the team. Even though our Fox bet says the odds are against him making the team, he will make the team because there is no way Urban Meyer signed him to cut him in training camp. He's not going to put him through that. So it's a done deal that he will be signed and he will play next year. And you are completely missing the boat on how he will be used because nobody understands how to use Tim Tebow any better than Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer coached Tim Tebow at Florida, as we all know, and in their time together, they went 48-7. And Tim Tebow helped him win 2 national championships. The first one, not as the starting quarterback. And Tim Tebow did win a Heisman. And Tim Tebow left Florida as the all-time SEC leader in passing efficiency, which is like quarterback rating, as the all-time SEC leader in completion percentage. Who knew at 67%? All-time leader in the history of that conference. This is a great conference. Tim Tebow left Florida as the all-time leader in touchdown to interception ratio. 88 touchdown passes to only 15 interceptions. All-time leader in the history of the Southeastern Conference. And he left as the all-time leading rusher as a quarterback, yards gained as a quarterback, and the all-time SEC career leader in touchdowns scored at any position with 57 touchdowns scored because this man has a nose for the goal line. This man can run the football. This man is about 6'2", probably now 250 pounds. I saw with my own eyes out here at his baseball showcase back in August of 2016. I witnessed in the outfield at USC, he timed a 40-yard dash at 4.6 seconds, which is, it's not great, but it's pretty good at 250 pounds. He is a nifty runner of the football. He can make you miss here and there, and he can run through you and over you, and he is a nifty handler of the football. This has gadget guy written all over him, and nobody understands how to use Tim Tebow better in packages, to maximize those packages in small but dynamic doses than Urban Meyer. Just see what happened as a freshman at Florida with Tim Tebow. Again, Chris Leak was the starting quarterback. We all remember that. Yeah. How great was Chris Leak? Not that great because he went undrafted. He got to play one preseason game with the Bears and just didn't make it. He went to Kansas City and didn't make it. He bounced around other leagues, but he did not make it in the National Football League. So he wasn't a great player, but he was a very good college player.
Correct.
And they were able to beat Ohio State in the championship game, just wiped them out 41-14. And they got there because of small doses of Tim Tebow, because he threw only 33 passes that year. But completed 22 of them. Most of them were red zone packages, goal line packages, a lot of jump passes, and a lot of run pass option, because he's a big, strong kid who has a nice handle on the football, and he can make good, quick choices of, do I run it, keep it, jump, and throw it? What do I do with it? And because of that, he also ran it 89 times for 469 yards as a freshman at Florida, and it contributed to a dynamic package that helped them go win the national championship. So to me, you're missing the boat. He will not line up as a true tight end. He won't be split out. He maybe occasionally he'll be in the slot, but he's going to be an H-back, mostly lining up in the backfield in very small doses. I'm going to say he might throw it a couple of times a game on run pass options.
So he's going to be Taysom Hill.
What's that?
He's going to be Taysom Hill?
I'm not even sure he'll get as many opportunities as Taysom Hill gets. But I'm going to say he throws it a couple times a game. I'm going to say he runs it, I don't know, 3-4 times maybe a game. It all depends on goal line situations, nose for the goal line. And just the rub-off effect. Nobody understands the contagious football charisma of Tim Tebow, the force of competitive nature that he is, better than Urban Meyer understands it. And he knows that just having him on the field, having him in the locker room, having the presence of Tim Tebow will ignite and inspire younger players. They know about his mystique. They know what happened. They're not too young to understand.
The 50th guy on the roster ain't rubbing off on anybody. It's not happening.
He will make plays for this team. Just plays here and there. Just watch. He may line up occasionally in the Wildcat. They may snap it directly to him every once in a while. And you cannot tell me he won't help Trevor Lawrence know the ropes, learn the ropes.
He didn't know them.
What are you talking about?
Know what ropes? He couldn't read defenses.
I'm talking about how to handle the brightest spotlight in NFL history. Was there any more focus on any one player than on Tim Tebow in 2011 in Denver? He was it. He was the story of the whole year as the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Nobody knows like just the gravity, the magnitude of spotlight better than Tim Tebow. He can help. And furthermore, he can take a little pressure, a little bit of the attention off Trevor Lawrence in a good way early on to let him ease into the job.
Think about this, Skip. Urban Meyer gets the job, his first job as the NFL head coach. He gets arguably one of the Mel Kiper says he's the 4th-rated quarterback that has ever graded in 43 years of doing it. And one of your big acquisitions, you signed Tim Tebow. Really?
Yeah, really.
After 6 years of being away from the game, after 9 years of not playing in a regular season game, this is what you do.
I want to make a quick point here that's very important. It's not like Tim Tebow went away from competitive sports, because he has been fighting his butt off for the last 5 years to play the sport of baseball, where he had been out for 11 years, started completely over, and amazingly made the all-star team at AA. Amazingly made it all the way last year to AAA. Amazingly was on course to be with the Mets this year in spring training.
And then what happened?
He knew what happened. His head coach from Florida got the job at Jacksonville. That's what happened.
Hold on. You mean to tell me you're that close? You scratched and clawed. You've been at this.
His first love was always football. He said it from the start.
I get all that.
He was forced to play baseball.
No, he wasn't forced. No, his inability to play the quarterback position forced him to go to another trade. Exactly. And he thought he was that good of an athlete that he could switch sports after not playing a sport for over a decade. And now he comes back. Skip, you told me, you said the NFL turned its back on him. So they still did. So why is he back?
Because his college coach understands Tebow magic.
There you go.
Well, he had huge success with him. And he said, I could have Tim Tebow. I could have him for a few big plays a game. I'll take him.
I love how you read off all those stats. But has there ever been any other Heisman Trophy winning quarterback that didn't make it in the NFL? What about running back? What about Biletnikoff award-winning wide receivers? Has there anybody that's had college credentials like Tim Tebow not been able to make it in the NFL?
There is only one Tim Tebow that I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like what he did for your Denver Broncos in 2011. Never seen anything like it. Have you? You ever seen anything like it?
Skip. I've seen a lot of guys that have college acclaim and cannot make it in the NFL.
I do too. A whole lot.
Yes. He's one of them.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
Really? Oh, well, then how did he go that year with the Denver Broncos? He got thrown into the fire. Well, how about the year before? Do you remember the 3 games he got to start? Because Josh McDaniels, what did I say before the draft? I said it on ESPN many times. I said, hey, Tim Tebow, I'll take that guy. Just let me have him late in the first round. I was ahead of the curve on this before the draft. Let me have him late in the first round. And if you run the Urban Meyer offense for your pro football team, he will win games. I said, he won't make a Pro Bowl. He'll just win games. And what happened? Josh McDaniel, of all offensive geniuses, said, I'll take him with the 25th overall pick. And what happened the next year? Josh got himself fired.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, Tebow was adrift in Denver because the guy who picked him was gone. So what happened at the very end of the year? They were a sad sack team. In the last 3 games, they said, let's let the kid play. He's a raw rookie. He's not started a game. And he goes out to Oakland, and he rushes the ball for 78 yards in the rain. And I said, God, that kid can play. And then against Matt Schaub and the Texans at home, I'm sure you watched this game.
I think it was the last game of the season, maybe.
What's that?
Might have been the last game of the season.
Second to last game. Tim Tebow, that game, threw for 308 yards. I thought he outplayed Matt Schaub, and he took the Denver Broncos on a late drive of 81 yards in 12 plays, and he scored on his own from the 6-yard line, nose for the goal line, to win the football game 24-23. And that led to a San Diego game that he rushed for 94 yards, and I said, he kept it close all the way, and I said, you know what? He can play. So what happens the next year? New regime. Your man, John Elway. John Fox is the head coach. And what do? Oh, we love Kyle Orton. Let's go. We hate this Tebow kid. He can't play. Not a good practice player. Never impressed anybody in practice. You can ask Urban about that at Florida. And they fell to 1-4 with Kyle Orton. And finally, John Elway said, let's just get this over with. They're clamoring for Tebow. Let's show them just how bad Tebow is. So they go to Miami, and they win in overtime. And Tebow commences to have the #1 QBR in the NFL over the last 5 minutes of the games he starts from there on. And he goes 7-4 in the regular season. And that was pretty good, because that was the 7th best starting quarterback record that year. 7-4 was pretty good. And guess what? They rallied to win the division. And guess what? He turned the Broncos into the #1 rushing attack in pro football, because they went to ride and decide, read option with Willis McGahee. Willis rushed for 1,194 yards, and Tebow threw in 660 rushing yards in just 11 games. And it was a joy to watch, because they were keeping games close, because they would just run, and then Tebow would make plays to win the game.
So in order to play that style of football, what must the defense be? Exceptional, right?
They were pretty good. There were moments that they weren't very good.
But think about it. Now, you remember they were down to Miami 15-0. And the defense shut them out the rest of the way, and Tim Tebow and them ended up winning the game in overtime, right?
Yep.
See, you keep telling me the last 5 minutes, but why does he have the #1 quarterback rating in the last 5 minutes? What about the other 50-plus minutes? So what's he doing in that time?
Well, they mostly ran the footballs.
Was Tim Tebow running the ball?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. And do you remember that Thursday night game against Rex Ryan's Jets? Do you remember this on national TV? Could we see the run that won the game? Do you remember this?
Yes.
He's rolling out. He can move a little bit now. I'm not saying he's a great runner, but he's pretty good. And all of a sudden, he's in the end zone at the buzzer. He just keeps it and keeps it and keeps it. Safety took a bad angle on the blitz, cut inside, and there was nobody home.
Right.
And he just runs it for a touchdown that wins the game. It's Tebow magic.
Yeah. It's
what he does. It's what he will do occasionally for the Jacksonville Jaguars next year.
So as a tight end, I'm a fairly good tight end. We'll have a little knowledge of this. I mean, tight end got to catch the football.
Okay.
Hey, Jim,
I don't think he'll ever line up at tight end.
Jim, he got to catch the football at some point, whether he line up there or not. Hey, Jim, we got any footage of Tim Tebow running a route, possibly catching the football?
Tebow is
that's Tim Tebow.
Tebow in motion. Sanchez looking that way.
Now, I don't know if anybody knows this, but when they throw something on the field, it's probably the football. You might want to catch it instead of duck.
Well,
it hit him on the head.
He hadn't even turned around. The ball was in his face. And plus, the DB got a hand on it.
DB ain't touched it.
Okay. Yes, the DB did touch it. He knocked it down.
He hit it. The ball hit him on his head.
Okay. The ball DB got a hand on the football.
No,
he wasn't even looking for the football. And plus, did he line up at tight end there? I don't think he did. He's like an H-back.
Skip. That's my point, is that you have to understand that you got to get your head around to give the quarterback a throw.
I don't think you're going to see many downfield routes from Tim Tebow at all.
So what is he?
It's an H-back. They're not going to announce we signed him as an H-back. That's what they used him in Florida. Go back and look at all the film of his freshman year at Florida. That's what you're going to see over and over again. So, how did they use him? Small but dynamic packages. Contagious.
So they're not going to throw. So H-back catch passes. I started as
a swing passes.
No. I went down the field. I mean, most H-backs catch the ball.
Well, he's not going to be a tight end like you were a tight end. It's just not built that way. That's not why he signed him.
You just told me, you just bet everything that he could be. He was a better blocker than me.
Well, that's for a fact. At 250 pounds, what did you weigh at your apex? 220?
228.
228?
Yeah.
I promise you he weighs 250 pounds.
Yeah, but Skip.
And you want to talk about heart? You want to talk about want to?
Skip,
you want to talk about desire?
Skip, he's never really blocked anybody before.
Well, I don't know about that. I think he blocked in Denver in 2011.
For who?
For Willis McGahee on toss plays, toss sweeps. He can get out there.
He's not blocking for anybody. Skip, look, he can't let this go. He's fame crazed. He needs that attention. He craves it. It is okay. I got no problem with that. But just call it what it is. Don't make it seem like,
I just called it what it is. He's going to help this team win football games. That's as simple as that.
The 50th guy on the roster. I've been, like I said, I've only been in 2 teams, but I've been, 14 years. I need somebody to tell me the 50th guy that motivated, that helped somebody win a football game. The 50th guy on the roster. Who listened to that guy?
He won a playoff game as the starting quarterback.
Mark Sanchez won 2 playoff games.
Hey, these kids grew up in awe of Tim Tebow. Trust me, Tebow magic. They know what happened in 2011 at Denver. That guy's dressing next to you in the locker room? Yeah, give me that.
It was an anomaly.
Oh.
He could never replicate that again.
2 games would be an anomaly, but 7-4 and then beating Roethlisberger in a playoff game, that's not an anomaly.
He never replicated that again. No one.
He never replicated it because he never got a chance.
The guy that drafted him couldn't find a spot on him to back up Brady. The guy that drafted him in a late first-round pick.
They weren't going to keep him.
Why not?
They just gave him a showcase because they had Ryan Mallett, who's like 6 feet.
Hold on. Ryan Mallett ain't got no SEC records. He's not the completion percentage, more touchdown to interception, more rushing yards, yada, yada, yada.
What did I tell you? You have to run Urban Meyer's offense. Was Josh McDaniels going to junk the offense for Tim Tebow? No!
I'm glad you said that. What about Chip Kelly? Chip Kelly, riding the side. Chip Kelly got the perfect offense for him.
I don't know. I can't explain it. That's jokes on it. Where's Chip Kelly now?
Oh, no.
Yeah, where is he now?
Well, he was coaching, right? Where's Tim Tebow? Yeah. You see what you did? Now, see, it's always everybody else's fault.
Right.
When Tim Tebow failed, they didn't give him a chance. But if somebody else failed, where is he right now? We're going to
get back to it, guys. I know you're fired up, and Michael Vick will join us later. Let's get his thoughts on Tebow time as well.
No mercy.
Russell Westbrook set the all-time record for triple-doubles after notching the 182nd of his career last night during the Wizards' 125-124 loss to the Hawks. When talking about breaking Oscar Robertson's mark after the game, Westbrook said this: "You put so much into the game, so much time, you sacrifice so much. To be able to just be mentioned with guys like Oscar, Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd, those guys is something I never dreamed about as a young kid growing up in LA. Normally, I don't like to pat myself on the back, but tonight I will, just because I am so grateful for the ones before me and so blessed." What a quote. Shannon, what was your biggest takeaway from last night?
Skip, I thought it was a classic Westbrook game. He played extremely hard. He wasn't efficient. He was obviously efficiency is not his strong suit. They fell down by a great number, and then Russ, being in Russ fashion, he brings them back. Skip, he almost has a triple-double in the 4th quarter alone. He had 11 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. And it seems like, to me, as the game got in the 4th quarter, his efficiency picked up because he was 6 of 15 going into the 4th quarter. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, I think he finished like 11 of 22, something like that, 11 of 23. So, but he hit it up with wasn't as
10
bad.
of 22.
10 of 22.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as going into the fourth quarter as you thought. You're like, man, Russ, you're going to have one of those type games again. You're going to end up getting this triple-double, but you're going to get blown out in the process. But he will, considering Bradley Beal's not there, he got everybody involved. 21 assists again last night with only 3 turnovers. Skip, you could live with that. Normally, a guy has that many assists. He would turn the ball over 5, 6, maybe even 7 times. But he only had 3 turnovers and 21 assists. But it was Russ. And Skip, Russ is a standalone. I think the thing is we probably need to stop comparing him to Oscar, to Magic, because he's different than those guys. I think the thing is because Russ has done this so frequently. And it's not easy to do, but we've seen so many other guys. Skip, I remember in the 80s with Magic Johnson, it was a thing, a triple-double. I'd never heard of the term until Magic started doing it, triple-double, triple-double. Like, what? You got double-digit in 3 different statistical categories. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. But nobody else was really doing it.
No.
You get Bird occasionally did it, and you get Magic. But for the most part, Skip, that was it. Nobody else was doing it. And then, more and more. And now, Skip, you got 28 different players have triple-doubles. 3 years ago, it was 37. So it's kind of lost some of its pizzazz because so many people, and it was normally reserved for great players, Skip. Only great players got triple-double. You ain't seen some willy-nilly guy getting a triple-double. Now you look up like, he got a triple-double? What? So it's kind of lost some of its pizzazz because so many random people, not the great, Russell isn't great. So Russell getting a triple-double, LeBron getting a triple-double, or Steph Curry, or James Harden, we're like, okay, yeah. But Skip, when the 11th guy on the bench gets a triple-double, Skip, I just saw Sabonis. Sabonis had like 21, 20, and 9. I'm like, he good, but Skip, he ain't Elijah one.
Yeah.
He ain't David Robinson. And so I think that's what's caused this, Skip. It's lost some of its luster because so many different guys, and they're not great players, are getting triple-doubles, and people are looking at it with them, how hard is it? But Russ is not getting a 10, 11, and 12 triple-double. Dude getting 18, 25, 22 triple-doubles. He's getting 20, 20, 20 triple-doubles. Not 30, 20, 20 triple-doubles. That's different. But I think it's lost some of its luster for the simple fact so many different guys are getting it, and they're not considered great players. And so that takes some shine off of what Russ is doing, but it should not, because what he's doing is exceptional. Doesn't always equate to wins, but you know what? I'll take Russell Westbrook on my team, Skip, because he won't cheat me on effort. And that's all I can ask.
I was with you until your takeaway. I don't know that I want Russ to be my point guard in my first playoff game. I'm not sure about that. Just not sure about that. But I do want him on my team. Yes. I get that.
Yes.
Nobody's ever played harder. Every single dribble possession, every single step of the night, playing.
Every night.
As hard as you can conceivably, physically play. And to your point, to amplify, they're down 17 after 3 quarters.
Yes.
They're down 96-79 on the road.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh, well.
I said the same thing.
Oh, well.
You know what I did, Skip? I said the same thing. I thought the same thing you thought. I go in, I said, I'm going to shave. This game is over. Skip, I come back.
You shave at night?
I shave at night.
Oh.
I shave at night. Skip. So
I shave at day.
Skip, I shave at night. So I was like, this game is over. I can shave now. I can just... Skip, I come back, and they're down 4. I'm like, what the hell? It didn't take me that long to shave.
So... to your point about his stats, almost having a triple-double in the fourth quarter. He had 10 assists in the fourth quarter. That is his career high in the fourth quarter. Because he said, this is my night. Yep. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to run through that figurative brick wall to victory. Yep. I am going to will my team to victory. I don't care what it takes. He led all players on both teams in rebounds with 6 in the quarter, which is extraordinary in and of itself. That would be 24 rebounds for the game. So I'm saying I lost track of just how great he was in and of himself. My man Bertans from the Spur, the ex-Spur, he starts making threes, and finally he banks one in from straight on, and I said, this is their night. They got this. Okay, so now it's a microcosm of Russ's career, because it's going to come down to, can you make a free throw or a three-point shot to win the game? You got to the precipice. Can you look over down into the canyon? Can you leap over into victory? And what happens if with 30 seconds left, he's got Herter on him, and he can take Herter, and he knows that if we could see this. And so he drives on him.
I thought this was an and one, too,
This is
Skip.
an and one. And he just gets body hammered. That's just a body foul. That's just like a football foul.
Yeah, that's an and one.
And Russ is like, give me a break. And he just wills the ball in the basket. He just says, I'm going to force this ball past the front of the rim. It hits hard on the front, and it just goes right over the front of the rim. Yeah. And I'm saying, and one. And then I sat back and I thought, I don't know if he could make the free throw, because right now he's shooting 64% from the free throw line. He's not what you'd call a clutch late game free throw
But
shooter.
he's been good lately. He was 5 of 5
okay,
last
he was 5 of 5. It was his night. This was his history in the making, and he knew it. So then they go down and they get a call on the other end where there wasn't a foul called, and they get the ball back.
Right.
And Scotty Brooks doesn't call timeout because Russ has got the ball, and he can just see that look in Russ's eye.
Right.
And Russ goes to link the court and pulls up, and he gets what I thought was a pretty open look from 3. I thought this was pretty good. And what does he do? He does his jabby recoil stroke, that little flick back, you know, and there's no follow through on it. And it's like wishing and hoping this is going to go in, because you got to follow through on the shot. You know what I mean? The great shooters follow through. You know, that jabby recoil that he's got from deep 3, and it doesn't even have a chance. It just nicks the front of the rim, and it was just sort of vintage Westbrook.
I thought for a second he was going to attack Trey and then pull up, because he didn't need the 3, Skip. You only need a 2 and you win. You don't need a 3.
He was going for he's just going for the gusto. Okay,
and Skip, that's it. That's Russell Westbrook.
It is.
Plays hard, not efficient. Shot to win the game. That's a Skip. I don't really think that's a good shot.
Well, again, he wanted to cap it off by doing something that we say you can't do. Right. Because he's just not a good three-point shooter. He never has been. So right now he's 31.5% from 3. That ranks 155th of 159 qualified. And I'm not raining on his parade. I'm actually fueling his parade, because he does what he does and he can't shoot. Right. And from the free throw line, he ranks 102nd of 109 qualified free throw shooters. And the people below him are named Rudy Gobert, your man, Big Penguin, Andre Drummond, Ben Simmons, Dwight Howard, Clint Capella, who played last night for the Hawks. Okay, so he's all down there. He's down there with the bigs and shooting free throws. He's a point guard, and he's an extraordinary. He is a first ballot Hall of Fame point guard, and he can't shoot threes and he can't shoot free throws. Well, I applaud that, because it's just not. He wasn't blessed with that stroke. He doesn't have that. Right. But boy, he's got everything else. Yeah. And as Scott Brooks keeps saying, nobody can impact this in all 3 categories the way he can. Magic couldn't do it. Magic said a couple days ago.
Magic couldn't score or rebound the ball like it. But Skip, normally Magic was one of the few point guards, but he was 6'9", so it's hard to say he was a true point guard, because he could have been a power forward, he could have been a small forward. Hell, maybe back then he could have been a center, Skip. But Russ is on the free throw line trying to get, when they shoot free throws, Skip, Russ gets 4 or 5 rebounds a game on missed free throws.
On missed free throws.
You don't see point guards are back. They were never on the line.
Nope.
And that's what Russ is. So give him credit. Skip, I didn't think anybody was 100, because like I said, when I was a kid, triple doubles was so hard to get. Magic had a great season if he got 10 in the season. Yeah. This guy got 32, 33.
I got it. By the way, I was watching him in pregame warmups last night. I was thinking, because he had on a tight top. Yeah. He's yoked up, man. Yeah. I mean, for a 6'3" guy, because he knew, I got to do this. I got to be this physical if I'm going to average 10 boards.
Yeah, he has to be, Skip, the cake that kind of pound him, because he's going in amongst the trees. He's spending a lot of time knocking him down, so he has to withstand that kind of punishment. But Skip, I didn't think anybody was going to get, he's going to be over. Hell, by the time he's done, he might have 250 triple-doubles. Then I'm going to see somebody who's going to break that.
Nobody. I mean, we said that about Oscar, but I just say nobody. It's impossible. It's just like,
think about it. His first 6 years, he only had 8. The man had 8 triple-doubles in his first 6 seasons.
He did. So what have you said repeatedly on the show about Russ in the playoffs? You don't think he loses any sleep not having won a championship?
No, hell no.
Okay, so I was thinking about you last night at the end of the game, because no sooner had he missed that 3 badly that he just seemed not affected by it at all. He didn't hang his head or scowl or show any emotion at all.
I think he asked for the ball.
He turned and he goes right and gets the basketball from the referee. Okay, because he knew All that really mattered last night was not that he missed the three. It's that he did it again, and he eclipsed Oscar Robertson, the great Oscar Robertson, who was much bigger than Russ.
Yeah.
I mean, Oscar
Russ was like 6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
And a big man.
Yeah. He was over 200 pounds. He was probably over 200 pounds.
So, way to go. I congratulate him.
Right.
And I don't know if he's ever going to win a championship, but boy, he won over a lot.
Yeah, I probably would have went and got that ball too, Skip. I understand it's in a loss. Yeah, I'd have went and got that ball.
But I mean, he didn't even like lean over and hurt for a second.
You know
like,
what, Skip?
I missed it.
You know what I think it is, Skip? I think Russ put so much into it.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not cheating the game. It's not like I went out late last night, I'm hungover. He's like, I give everything. Skip, and if a guy gives everything he has in a game, win, lose, or draw, I can accept the outcome. And he's one of those guys. Now, I'm not one of those. I'm a poor loser. I ain't nowhere around it, Skip. I'm hanging my head. I don't give a damn how good I play. If I lose the game, I'm upset. I'm kind of quiet. I want to be to myself.
Hey, I watch you lose every day on this show, so I know what a poor loser you are.
But Russ, Skip, I would have really got the ball too. Because at first I was like, okay, why does he want the ball? Is he want to practice his shot again?
No.
And then it dawned on
no.
He passed. He broke
history.
Oscar. Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of liked how he said, I'm going to pat myself on the back tonight. I don't always do it. I just thought it was refreshing to hear those words from him. And congratulations all around. Guys, we got to talk about LeBron here. Here's the latest. LeBron James is likely to play against the Knicks tonight as he recovers from a sore right ankle, which we've been discussing. So Lakers coach Frank Vogel said that LeBron was a full participant in practice yesterday, which seems to be a good indicator that his injury has recovered well after taking the past 4 games off. Before that, LeBron had missed 6 weeks due to the ankle sprain and has already told reporters that his body will never get back to 100% for the rest of his career. So Shannon, how close will he be to 100% tonight?
Well, Skip, I think if he can be somewhat around 80, 90%, Skip, and don't re-injure the ankle, I think that's going to be the biggest thing moving forward, not to have any setbacks. He came back and he realized that, he thought he could tolerate the pain, but the pain was more than he could handle. He's like, nah, I might need some more time. And it was reported that, close to the team, close to LeBron, said Sunday he looked like himself. He had some bounce. He said he was able to cut, hard cut, plant, do the things that he was normally doing, and it seemed that he wasn't grimacing after he did those things. So they felt really, really comfortable that he was going to be able to come back and be some resemblance of the LeBron that we saw pre-injury. Now, the biggest thing is, Skip, is that we'll see practice is one thing. Playing in game and ramping up that level of intensity is something entirely different. So we'll see how he feels after this game. There's a good chance he's probably not going to play against the Rockets on Tuesday night. Tonight's Tuesday, on Wednesday night, because they got back-to-backs. So let's see how he comes out after this game. But I love hearing that he was able to cut, he was able to bounce. He had some bounce in his step, had some giddy-up, some get-up and go. So that get-up and go with AD doing what he does. Storm might have been delayed. Meteorologists got the forecast wrong.
Oh,
they said
really?
the storm was going to happen a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, they misdiagnosed it. She slowed down. Isabella slowed down, but she picking back up steam again.
The GOAT storm?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I thought the GOAT was the meteorologist who predicted the storm's coming.
He was, Skip, they wrong all the time.
Oh, so he was wrong.
He mistimed the storm, Skip. We thought the storm, it took a turn. But it's headed back this way again. It took a turn. You heard it. Storms, sometimes they do that. They're going to make landfall at this time. They make a turn and they hit the landfall somewhere else. But they're coming.
Okay. So allow me to say, welcome back, LeBron.
There you go. See?
We missed you. And yet, per the ESPN report yesterday, his elevation was all the way back in practice. They had some little scrimmage that went up and down.
Yeah.
His explosion, according to ESPN, was all the way back. So I got to say, he's real close to 100%.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that means you get 0 excuses. 0.
Skip, I told you, I believe he's back 85%, maybe even 90%. As long as we don't have any setbacks, it doesn't matter. We're probably going to have to be in the play-in tournament. But we're going to make it even sweeter that we go from the play-in, the knock off the 1, the 2, to 3, and then come up there and handle what we need to handle and be the champ. And then it'd be over.
The Warriors handled Utah last night.
Yeah, that ain't us. That's not us. But they did no Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell.
I know.
Not to diminish because Steph Curry.
It's fair. I got it.
Steph
missed the late game shot to win it, and then he made the late game shot.
You can't give him two cracks.
You can't give him two, and he made the second one. Good for him. Okay, so this means that LeBron is back, and yet I don't know what took him so long. And when it comes to injuries, I don't know. I'm going to knock on wood because I don't even like to talk about them, but it's still the strange case of LeBron James to me because that long ago Saturday afternoon, Solomon Hill, the Atlanta Hawks, we saw last night against Russ, and Solomon Hill fell into LeBron's leg. I didn't think it was that serious. He was writhing in pain for a while, but if we could just remind everybody of what happened just after he got up, this is him on the next possession. That's the
actual play.
Yeah. Okay. So he's down, and then here he comes, and he's in the corner, and he makes a three on that bad ankle, and he trots up the floor, and he looked okay.
I see. Yeah.
Okay. He's favoring a bit, but not that much, and he walked off the floor and walked to the locker room on his own volition, where he said, "I don't like it. I can't go."
Right.
And he opted to go to the locker room, but he did not need any support. He didn't need anybody under each arm to help him walk. He obviously didn't need a crutch. He walked to the locker room, and then he was gone for, I lost track of how long, until he came back for the Sacramento game.
Basically, he's going to end up missing 7 weeks. He missed 6, came back for a couple of games, missed another week.
I felt like, you disagreed, but I felt like against Sacramento and Toronto at home, his pride was as injured as his ankle because he had the last-second shot against Sacramento, and he missed it, and then he just didn't have a good game against Toronto, and they lost both games. And then all of a sudden, he's gone again for a little while. And that's fine because the beauty of this is you do have a fully rested LeBron James for the stretch run. Unfortunately, you have probably fallen in, as you suggest, to the play-in. I don't know, miracles could happen.
Right.
But you do have him at full strength as far as being reinvigorated for the stretch run. Because there was a point, maybe a third of the way into the season, he had led the league in minutes. And I was saying, that's a death-defying pace right there. That's crazy.
I would rather have him leading the league in minutes and be 100% healthy as opposed to you think he's fully rested and still somewhat 85, 90%. Give me 100% LeBron with all the minutes, and I'm good. Okay,
well, you're talking about the storm is coming, so I think your 85, 90 ought to be more 95 to 100.
No. We're 85, 90. We peak it.
Okay.
We run it. We do it round. We do this in rounds, Skip. You know how they run it? You know how they 100 meters in the Olympics? You run rounds. Okay. And what you want to do is to make you keep peaking as you go further and further.
Okay. And yet, I'm going to remind everybody, these are not last year's Lakers. This is a very different and very new team.
Better.
Really? So Dwight Howard, JaVale gone. Better? You've upgraded there with Gasol and Big Penguin? Really?
You watch. You see, you keep on underestimating what drum's value.
Well, you're beating the drum for drum. I'm not.
That's all right. That's okay.
I saw him miss a 1-foot layup.
Okay, Skip, he missed the layup. He's not the first guy. Hold up. Patrick Ewing missed the layup that would have put him in the NBA Finals, now didn't he? So is Patrick Ewing better than Drum?
Well, is he better than Patrick Ewing is the better question. That's what you're suggesting.
Ain't nobody suggested that, Skip.
Jeannie Buss suggests he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No, she did not.
She did.
All we need him to do is just keep on getting on them offensive glass. Give us the second, third cracks at buckets.
Okay.
We're going to be just fine. We got to keep him out of foul trouble. But that's also lit a fire up under Marc Gasol because we've seen Marc Gasol over the last week, especially when he got a couple of them DMPs. We see he done picked up his pace, playing defense, making shots, pass facilitating. Now that's the Marc Gasol that we expected to see that was lunching because he got comfortable. But see, Big Drum lit that fire up, the thing hot.
Really?
Yeah, we lit a fire up.
The odd man out has been the sixth man of the year, Montrez, and I don't know, he got to play the other night. He played very well. Played 4 or 6 shots.
You remember the last time they played the Phoenix Suns? DeAndre Ayton dominated them. Now, guess what happened? AD ate his lunch. Big Drum kept him off the glass.
That's true.
Look, DeAndre Ayton, did anybody mention his name? No. Oh, D.A. Ain't heard nothing about the D.A.
I will give you that. AD outplayed him.
Yeah.
For the last week, I'm going to give you this. Anthony Davis has been the best player in basketball for the last 1 week. Can he stay healthy? I don't know. I'm going to knock on wood again because he's got something every other play. It's like he's grabbing at something in his calf. He's cramping. He's pulling. Something's wrong.
The thing.
Back.
the thing is this year, Skip, if you look at the top teams, all of their big guns have missed significant time. You go to Clippers and you look at Kawhi and Paul George have missed time. You look at the Sixers and Embiid and Simmons have missed time. You go to the Nets. You the Milwaukee, Holiday was in protocol. Giannis has missed time. The Lakers, the only guy that hasn't missed any time is Jokic. But his sidekick, Murray, is gone for the season. Everybody else has missed a substantial amount of time. So help. You're going to have to be able to weather the injury storm. And whomever does that better, that's the team that's going to probably win the title.
So LeBron has very few reps with the big penguin. LeBron doesn't have enough reps with the whole new rotation.
Right.
So this is going to be very different than last year when they were all forced to take time off because of the pandemic, but at least they knew each other.
Right.
At least they had some rhythm. Now you do not have Rondo. Rondo is now the quarterback of the Clippers as he emerges.
Right.
He's not starting right now, but he will start, I believe, or at least play high minutes in the playoffs.
Right.
And the point is, you went Schroeder for Rondo, and it's an upgrade on pure talent and scoreability. There's no doubt about that.
But I think the thing is, Skip, what they wanted, Rondo wanted to get paid. He wanted multiple years, and the Lakers weren't going to be able to go do that. And I don't fault Rondo for that, because as you start to get older, Skip, if somebody's going to give me a 2-year deal and somebody's offering me a 1-year deal, and both are guaranteed, I'm going to the 2-year. I'm going to go get the guaranteed.
But he got his cake and eat it too, because he got his money and he came back to the Clippers.
Right. But he didn't know that. He didn't know that at the beginning of the season.
Well,
it was
we
a
don't
situation.
know about that. Maybe somebody whispered that in his ear.
Atlanta went to him and said, "Hey, you got this offer on the table. Would you like to go to the Clippers?" They did him a solid. Say they put him back in L.A. He's familiar with L.A., but he's just on a different team. But who go? Oh, he ain't gonna play. He'll play against the Rockets because he don't want any of the Knicks. Got something for you.
Okay.
We're gonna do what you couldn't do.
Really?
We're gonna do what you couldn't do.
So right now, Fox Bet says that the Clippers and Lakers are even, just behind the Nets as favorites, right? They're second favorites, tied, okay? And the Clippers lead in three-point shooting, lead in free throw shooting. They're on pace to be record-setting offensive juggernaut.
And lost to the Knicks.
They did, because they lose every 12:30 Pacific time Sunday afternoon game. They just don't play them. They just don't show up. I don't know. If you tell me that every playoff game the Clippers are going to play is going to be at 12:30 on Sunday at home, they're going to be out. They'll get swept.
I mean, you saw Kawhi. Kawhi had 29 points, but it took him 26 shots to get it.
Boy, he almost pulled it out.
What about we pulled it out? So no. Tell me about Playoff P. How was he Sunday? You've been hyping him. Whoa, Playoff P. I got all this confidence. How'd he look?
Just wait until Rondo.
What about Pat Bell? How Pat Bell look?
Wait until Ibaka comes back. He's practicing now. He will be back. All of a sudden, they've got a three-headed monster. They got Zoo and Ibaka and DeMarcus Cousins.
Boogie look good. Boogie look good. Boogie been looking good lately. But look, Ibaka just want to wear big sweaters and leather coats on the sideline. He ain't trying to play no basketball.
No, he's going to. He ain't trying to really play basketball.
Yeah. He tried to impress Anna Winter. He tried to get on Vogue.
You think so?
He ain't trying to do nothing about no NBA.
Did we get that on tape? Serge?
He tried to impress Anna Winter.
Serge might have you on his cooking show.
He might want to go to the Met Ball, because you can't get through there unless you go through her. He tried to go to the Met Gala. That's it, Skip. We play hoops.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go to the Met Gala. Have you ever been invited, Shannon? I feel
I ain't been about to go, though.
Okay.
Me and Skip going away.
I'd like to
what?
The Met Gala.
Oh, Brady goes.
Brady goes.
Man, nobody talking about no Brady.
Man.
Well, since Brady does watch and follow our show, maybe Skip's actually my way into that. That's good to know. Thank you, Skip, for the reminder. Yes, Brady is there. No mercy. All right, guys, Tim Tebow is set to make his NFL return a decade after his magical run as the Broncos starting quarterback in 2011. After playing a handful of games for the Jets in 2012, the Heisman winner hasn't played in the regular season since then, and now he's finally making the position change that many said would have given him a chance to stay in the league. So, Shannon, as a quarterback, should Tim Tebow be considered an NFL bust?
Yeah, a bust. As simple as that. You don't grade him on the curve. He's a first-round draft pick. And he had plenty of opportunity to show how well he could play. In 16 starts, he's only 3 times did he complete over 50% of his passes. Is that good, Skip? No, I don't think that's really good either. So, but anyway, he had a chance in New York, New England, Philly. Didn't make it. So we can't make excuses and say, well, he didn't get a fair chance. Every player that's ever gotten cut from professional sport will tell you, man, they ain't like me, man. They ain't give me no shot, man. Same thing in college. I hear my homeboy, I go back and talk to him, man, you know Coach ain't like me, man. I probably could have made it to the league. Here's Skips always talks about 2011. In 2011, the Broncos beat the Chiefs in Week 10. Tim Tebow was 2 for 8. They lost in Week 17 to that same Chief team. Tim Tebow was 6 of 22 with an interception. In the divisional round of the playoffs against New England, he was 9 of 26 for 136 yards, scored 10 points. Now, this is Tim Tebow completion percentage, including the playoffs. He has a lower completion percentage than Ryan Leaf. Would anybody consider Ryan Leaf for bust? But Tim Tebow's completion percentage is lower than his. What about Jamarcus Russell? Tim Tebow's completion percentage is lower than Jamarcus Russell. Would we consider Jamarcus Russell a bust? He has the same completion percentage as Achilles Smith. I mentioned these guys. Jamarcus Russell, once he got released by the Raiders, never played again. Achilles Smith tried out for a couple of teams, never played again. Same thing happened to Tim Tebow. So if we're going to grade him as a first-round quarterback, Tim Tebow's career was a bust.
Is that it? Thank you. Now, allow me to walk you back quickly through my history with Tim Tebow and explain to you why he was anything but a bust.
Okay.
Maybe a Canton bust. I don't know.
Okay.
So, it was the 2009 Orange Bowl. I had to watch the Florida Gators play my Oklahoma Sooners. Born and raised in Oklahoma City as a Sooner fan, never a big Sam Bradford fan, but he was on his way to becoming the #1 overall pick, and he was my starting quarterback against Tim Tebow in the national championship game in the Orange Bowl. It was a 7-7 game at halftime, only because Sam Bradford threw an end zone interception to end the first half. 7-all, and after the game, I saw what Tim Tebow, a competitive force of nature, said to his team, his halftime speech. If we could please see that in that Orange Bowl.
Get in here right now! Get in here! Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our lives! 30 minutes for the rest of our lives! That's how we're bad in the first half. It ain't happening. We get the ball. I promise you one thing. We're going to hit somebody, and we're taking it down the field for a touchdown. I guarantee you that.
Guaranteed.
Look at me. Let's go. We got 30 minutes. Let's go. For the rest of our lives. For the rest of our lives. Let's go. Let's go.
You think psycho Tom Brady goes a little psycho on the field? That scared me because I said, I wouldn't mind having that guy running my football team, because you know what he did in the second half? He took it and ran it right down University of Oklahoma's throat. He went 75 yards in 13 plays. He got some help from Percy Harvin, but he did a lot of it himself. And then he goes 76 yards in 11 plays, and they won 24-14 and won the national championship off that ignition of an inspirational speech.
You know y'all choking bowl games. Y'all been doing it. Remember Boise State?
Yeah.
Okay,
but we lost the national championship game that I thought we were the better team and should have won the game. So off that, I began to watch Tim Tebow more closely. And his final college game under Urban Meyer was the Sugar Bowl against 12-0 Cincinnati. In that game, Tim Tebow went 31 of 35 for 482 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He also ran for a touchdown. They won 51-24. And I said, you know what? I'm taking that guy late in the first round. And I said on national TV repeatedly, give me Tim Tebow late in the first round. Run Urban Meyer's offense in pro football. He will win football games. I'm not saying he's going to ever make a Pro Bowl, though he nearly did in 2011. Reportedly, he was very close.
Was that the Cincinnati team that the coach had just left and went to Notre Dame? That wasn't that Cincinnati team, was it?
12-0, that's all.
I'm not just saying, Skip, was it that team?
How can you be 31 of 35 for 482 and you can't throw? How can you do that? I don't know. Maybe it was a mirage. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was CGI. I have no idea how he did it, but I saw it and I said, I want that guy on my team. So Josh McDaniels saw what I saw and he took him with the 25th overall pick. And Josh, as we talked about earlier, he got fired that year, but Tim got 3 starts at the end of the year and he was really good in those 3 starts, including 308 that he threw for against Matt Schaub and the Texans, and pulled it out with another late game winning drive and a 6-yard run for a touchdown. I said, that guy should be the starter next year. John Elway had other ideas. Kyle Orton was the starter, and then here came 1-4. The Denver Broncos said, let's just get the Tebow experiment over with. And you know the rest of the story. He goes 7-4 the rest of the year. He didn't win 2 games or 3 games. He went 7-4. He led the NFL in QBR in the last 5 minutes of those 11 games. And along the way, it got so crazy that at ESPN, we actually had the great DJ Steve Porter create a music video, and it caught on. It was a national craze. It won the Webby Award that year. I went to a big gala in New York, speaking of a gala, and accepted it from the great Jeremy Lin. Remember Lin Sanity?
I do.
He was hot at that point, and he honored me with the Webby Award. And if we could see a little bit of it. Yes!
He's a
got to
gamer, he's a
revive it.
playmaker, shot caller. He's a gamer, he's a playmaker, shot caller. Unleash
Tim Tebow, let him go.
It's time.
Turn him loose.
Let him play. Let him play.
On Sunday.
And all he does is win. All he does is win.
One more game, one more win.
All he does is win games.
All he did was win games.
That was good.
It caught on. It was a national craze.
It was
unbelievable.
Jim.
Thank you, DJ Steve.
Jim, do you got any footage for me? I want you to show me. I want to see a couple of these throws that Tim Tebow weren't making. Do we got that footage, Jim? I mean, you got that track for me, Jim? I mean, I know you didn't get nominated for no Webby, but this is the same guy. That's the same guy right there. Look at this right here. That's the guy right there. That's the guy we're talking about right there. Hold on. This is the guy right here. Look at this.
Yep.
Then I went to the house. That's the guy right there.
Yep.
And I ain't win no award. Look at this.
So how many young quarterbacks in their first 16 starts go 9-7 when they get thrown into a bad fire, like a dumpster fire that was the Broncos at that point? How many bring them back to lead the league in rushing as an offense and to win the AFC West? You know how hard the West is to win, and they won it.
But who normally stands around the dumpster fire? You make it seem like, look at that. The ball hit the man in the head.
Yeah.
Skip. He wasn't good.
Oh, okay.
And it's okay.
And then it climaxed with a home playoff game against Big Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers, coached by Mike Tomlin. And all Tim did in that game was throw for 316 yards, including this throw. I don't know, was this any good? Because this won the game in overtime.
You take
80 yards to Demaryius Thomas.
You take one throw.
Oh, well, one throw was the throw, right? Did it not win the game? Thank you. Oh, I could watch this all day and all night. He's loose. Demaryius is loose. He's going. He's going. He's gone.
Skip.
You're gone.
Skip.
All the detractors are gone. It killed everybody.
The man threw a 5-yard route. DT went 75 plus.
I'd say it was about a 15-yard route, but that's okay. Hit him right in the hands, and he was gone.
Skip.
You were gone. Everybody who hates Tim Tebow was gone because he showed you just right there, just on that throw and victory alone. How can you write him off as a bust? All he did was win and win and win. And to go 9-7, obviously went up the next weekend to Foxborough, and he got destroyed because they got destroyed. Bill Belichick does that to young quarterbacks. That's what happens.
So Patrick Mahomes never got destroyed. His first start, he still put up threw over 400 yards.
Well, I never said Tim Tebow was Patrick Mahomes. I didn't say he'd make one Pro Bowl.
But we can't judge him, Skip. We got to judge him. He's a first-round quarterback.
25th overall.
Yes, in the first round. Given that he only started 60, he was only able to start 16 games.
So hypothetically,
yes,
if they had kept him at quarterback, if there had been no Peyton situation, let's say Indy said, until death do us part with Peyton Manning. What if Peyton hadn't had his neck and shoulder injury?
Right.
What if he had been able to finish his career for the Colts and he doesn't knock on Elway's door and say, can I play next year? Because I would have done that in a heartbeat. But what if Tim Tebow had continued for your Broncos the next year and the next year? You know what would have happened? That would have kept happening.
No,
they would have kept winning. They would have won the AFC West again because all he did was win.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, you say his last game, why was he in the Sugar Bowl? Why was he playing for the national championship? Because you know what happened down in Georgia? What did he go up against? St. Nick had him on the sideline, T-boying crying because he couldn't throw the ball. Yes, he was. He was on the sideline crying because you couldn't beat Nick Saban running the football back then.
Well, it happens.
You had to throw it.
It happens. right? I mean, he lost some games. He was 48-7 as a college player under Urban Meyer.
And then guess what?
Pretty great.
And Urban, our good friend that we worked here at Fox, he saw the writing on the wall. He knew what St. Nick had down there in Tuscaloosa. He knew what he had down there in Tuscaloosa. I want no part of this.
And?
He left.
Well, I think he stayed one more year after Tim.
Because he didn't want to look like, well, man, Tim gone. I can't leave as soon as Tim leave.
What happened under Tim against St. Nick or against Alabama, the other games? They won them.
Coach Saban just finally, he didn't get there till, 2007. So he had to get his guys in there. Once he got his guys in there, Florida ain't seen him since.
I have never seen a competitive force of nature like Tim Tebow. I've never seen more contagious football charisma than Tim Tebow. I've never seen a better late-game playmaker, arms and leg, than Tim Tebow in professional football.
Can't play.
Well, I got lots of numbers that say 9-7 as a starter. That means he can play.
No, that does not.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Well, he was the reason they did that.
Oh, see?
He was the biggest reason.
So was he? So he's the reason. So you see what you did? Now, when things go well, he's the reason. When they go bad, he never got a chance. Oh, look, it was a dumpster fire. Now it's a dumpster fire because it's not going well. It's a dumpster fire. But when it's going well, you see what he did? He made that throw. No. He was a part of it. He was a part of it.
And you know what's going to happen next year? You're going to have to keep watching those kind of plays all year long for the Jacksonville Jaguars because it's Tebow time.
So Jacksonville going to make the playoffs.
I didn't say that.
Oh.
But he'll contribute to wins. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 8-8 next year.
No, you can't go 8-8. They got 17 games now. 8-9?
I'll go 8-9. Yeah. 8-9.
You want some dew?
Yep, I do.
8-9?
I'll take dew on 8-9.
How many cases?
5. I'm only up like 35, so it's fine.
By the time the playoffs over, you'll be down 35.
Oh, really?
By the time the playoffs over, you'll be down 35.
But I still got Brady on my side.
It's okay.
And his
You can't have Brady. You can't have Brady forever. He gonna retire eventually.
Oh, maybe in 4 or 5 years, maybe.
You hoping, but I'm gonna get the dude back because old goat back.
Yeah. There are 2 players you shouldn't bet against: Tom Brady and Tim Tebow.
I'm betting all my money against Tim Tebow.
Okay.
I might not bet all my money against Tom Brady because I'll be broke, but I'm betting against Tim Tebow.
I mean,
and you.
Skip, I have to say that music video is pretty catchy. I admit that was very well done, very catchy. We might have some more footage after this season to make another video, and I don't know, Shannon, you might not be able to stop him.
No mercy.
I can't believe I'm saying it, but it looks like it's actually Tebow time in Jacksonville. The Jaguars are reportedly on the verge of signing the former Heisman winner to a 1-year deal to play tight end this upcoming season. The 33-year-old Tebow hasn't been on an NFL roster since he spent preseason in 2015 playing for Chip Kelly's Eagles. And now he'll have a chance to make the team under his former college coach, Urban Meyer. Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick is with us now. Mike, I got to get your thoughts here. Is this a good idea or a bad one?
You know what? I think it's a good idea to sign Tim Tebow. I think for the morale of the locker room, you know, this guy brings a lot of intangibles to the table in terms of just his presence. I think he's gritty. I think he's tough. But the tight end position, I don't know. I don't know if this is Coach Meyer's way of indirectly trying to bring him in and slowly work him into the backup quarterback role. Because as a tight end, you got to be built different. You know, ask Shay. Shay, you know, you got to be built different. You know, it's a totally different position where, you know, it requires a uncanny amount of toughness. And I'm not saying that Tim Tebow is not a tough guy. Look, I love Tebow to death, and I like what he brings to the table as a football player. But I like him better, and this might sound crazy, I would like him better as a backup quarterback in that role than at the tight end position. We just had a tight end go number 4 in the draft. That tells you how prominent the position is and how important the tight end position is all across the board in the game of football. So I like the move. I like what Tim Tebow brings, but the Jacksonville Jaguars are not in a position to compromise any position football-wise on the football field now, especially with a rookie quarterback. That's a delicate situation. And with Urban Meyer being a new coach, just trying to team build and trying to, you know, create some type of magic in Jacksonville, which is much needed. So, you know, I like the signing. I know Tim is going to have to work for it, but it's going to be a long road because that tight end position, you got to block, you got to catch, you got to know when to sit in zones, you got to know when the run versus man. It's a lot of things that that comes into play. Can he digest that in a short period of time and not ever playing tight end? The only person I've seen that was able to really handle it was Logan Thomas, and I was a little afraid when he went through that process. So I think it's possible. I think Tebow is very capable, but right now, if it's the right time, I don't know if it's the perfect time for the Jaguars.
Mike, let me ask you a question. You came back and you played the quarterback position after being away for 2 years. Do you believe a team would have given you an opportunity if you're away from the game for 6 years and you say, well, I want to come back and I want to play wide receiver or I want to play defensive back? Do you believe teams would have given you that opportunity?
Absolutely not. Hey, I just ran a 4.7. I just ran a 4.7.
By the way, it was
I'm
great.
pretty sure they would have put me on the clock. I mean, it looked good. Honestly, I had more in the tank. I'm not going to elaborate on that. I pulled my hamstring like 25 yards in. Next year, I'm gonna bust a 4.5 on her now.
But
I believe you.
Mike, the difference between Logan Thomas is making that transition is that he made that transition immediately. I don't believe Logan Thomas waits 6 years, played quarterback, stays out of the league for 6 years, come back and says, well, you know what? I was a quarterback, but I'm going to play tight end. That's my only thing. Look, we understand. We understand how this works out. We understand why. He's from Jacksonville. It's not an accident that he tried out because this had already been in motion. Mike, my inbox is flooded with guys that played collegiately, that played at some level, that's trying to get back in the league. Shay, what can you do? Who do I need to call? How do I get this? I'm trying to get an agent. I'm trying to get back into the league. Tim Tebow picks up the phone, call Urban Meyer, who actually lives 3 doors down from him in Jacksonville, and he gets a tryout. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is my thing is, okay, you want to play quarterback, they want to give him an opportunity, fine, let him play quarterback. But they make it seem like Tim Tebow is one of these historically great athletes, that he can do anything. Well, we've proven that he couldn't. He tried baseball. Tim Tebow's addicted to fame, Mike. He can't let that fame go that comes along with being a professional athlete. That's why when football said no, he tried baseball. Baseball tried no, and he found the perfect situation in Jacksonville. His former coach, he's from Jacksonville. Mike, let me ask you this. How many times you heard the 50th guy or the 53rd guy in the roster give the team speech? How many times they get the 53rd guy get you pumped up to go play a game? Because that's what Tebow is.
And that's what I like about Tim. Before you go, Skip, that's what I like about Tim. I like that he can bring that to the team. If I'm Urban Meyer, I'm looking around. You know, you look at your locker room, you don't see too many veterans. You want a guy that you can bring in who's going to be able to spark the team in any kind of way, who's going to bring some type of, excitement, some type of relation to the team. In terms of his past success, what he's been through, I think he's a guy who can, like you say, he can bring some morale. He can rally the troops. That's about all he can do.
So, Shannon Sharpe.
Because I don't know what he can do at the tight end position.
What?
You do know the tight end position, and I'm trying to explain to you, I do not believe that Tim Tebow one time next year will line up as a pure tight end. He will not be split out as a tight end or on the edge of the line of scrimmage.
So in other words, they're going to do a little motioning with him and stuff like that, little jet sweeps and power football.
So here's the question. How many guys in your inbox that's flooded with people trying to get a chance to get back in the NFL, how many won a Heisman and then went 7-4 in their first year as a starting quarterback and beat Roethlisberger and Tomlin in a big playoff game? How many have done that? None. So he's got credentials here. So you say he's addicted to the fame. No, he's addicted to what you two were completely addicted to, competing at the highest level. If you could still be competing at the highest level, you'd be doing it right now.
I am.
Your body betrayed you. It finally said, Shannon, I can't do it. Your psyche betrayed you. It just finally said, I can't take the meetings anymore.
I beat you down every day.
Okay, all right. But that's not the same.
Yes, it is.
You would trade this in a heartbeat if you could continue to compete at the highest level.
I get better satisfaction of beating you than scoring a touchdown.
Well, you haven't beat me yet, so I don't know how you even know what that feels like. One day, maybe you will, if I take off a day. I don't know. I never take off a day.
Yeah.
But the point is, you're missing the boat on the fact that Tim Tebow has been competing at the highest levels in baseball, a professional sport, over these last 6 years. If you told me you're just sitting on his couch or doing TV for the last 6 years, you'd have me. But no, he's been working his tail off because he works hard. Everybody works hard. hard, but he will work hard. He will set a great example for the young Jaguars, what prices you have to pay to achieve this level of football.
But he did. But Skip, they're looking at him like, you didn't do this. You got this job because of your former coach, Mike. They're looking at him like, bro, you're not a tight end. You got this job because Urban Meyer's the head coach and he coached you in Florida. So I'm looking at you differently. Mike, we've all worked with people that their sons or their daughter is in a position. And I'm looking at them like the only reason you got this position is because of your parents or because you know somebody. We look at that person differently, Mike. You know that.
You're missing the boat again. Urban Meyer went 48-7 with Tim Tebow on the football field.
In college.
The blueprint was the freshman year, Chris Leak was the starting quarterback, but who was the Wildcat quarterback? Who was the gadget guy, if you want to go to gadget guy? Who had Tebow packages in small but dynamic doses that changed the way they won football games? Who in the red zone? Who at the goal line? Who did they put in to throw jump passes or to do read options and keep it and bowl people over at the goal line? It was Tim Tebow.
Skip, I'm not
He can do all that.
I'm not saying he's a historically great college player. You could make a case he might be a top 5 collegiate player of all time. I'm not debating that. I'm talking about NFL. Mike, he hasn't played in 6 years. He hasn't played in a regular season game in 9 years. Mike, come on, Mike.
I get that. And what I'm saying is the tight end position, I don't think that's the position he'll be playing. I think this is Urban Meyer's way of indirectly easing him into the quarterback role. Now, they won some games together in college, and he can be a backup, even if it's for a year, to work alongside Trevor Lawrence. They tried him at H-back in New England. They moved him all around. It didn't work. Or maybe they just didn't have the space, in terms of their roster or whatever reason, it didn't work out. But obviously, coach has done his research. Yeah, they are buddies. But the one thing I see Tim Tebow doing is being a guy who can come in and rally the troops. He's a good spirit. He's a great man. He's somebody he's not going to be afraid to walk up to the young guys and tell them, what needs to be done, how the NFL actually works, how to be the ultimate pro. And you got to respect that. So it's a lot of different reasons, even if it's just for the ambiance of Tim Tebow being there, they can make this work.
Look, nobody believes in Tim Tebow more than Urban Meyer does.
Right.
Nobody has more genius in how to use Tim Tebow than Urban Meyer. Urban's got offensive genius about it. Look at everywhere he was. I know it's not pro football, but everywhere he went, he would turn that offensive around, and all of a sudden they'd be a juggernaut in the next year.
Skip, I'm not debating that. I know what his record is at Bowling Green, in Utah, in Florida, in Ohio State. His credentials
He got Alex Smith drafted #1 overall.
Skip, his credentials collegiately aren't to be questioned.
They are not to be questioned.
And I would never question. His resume is impeccable. But all I'm saying is that, Mike, we know why. We know why. Let's not pretend that he did something that earned this opportunity. Hell, Cap couldn't get an opportunity after 1 year, 2 years, let alone somebody bringing him up after 6 years and says, okay, you can try out for DB.
Okay, but we know why that was.
Yes.
That was a whole different dynamic.
And just like we know why this is, Mike. But Mike ain't gonna say it. See, Mike gonna be PC. I'm not.
I was about to say, it was times where I could have called, a couple of my coaches, and I had conversations with Andy Reid about coming back to play, and they entertained it. I could call any one of my coaches that I played for formerly and can get a shot.
Hold on.
Get a tryout.
As a running back?
I could call Mike Tomlin right now and probably get a tryout.
Let me ask you a question. As a running back?
Hell no.
Okay, then. That's my point. You play quarterback. If you got a former, I got no problem. Listen, that's the whole point. That's why I tell these young guys, you never know what position coach or what offensive coordinator is going to get a head job. So be careful how you talk to your position coach, your offensive coordinator, or defensive coordinator or defensive position coach, because you never know when he's going to be in a position to help you. I'm not saying that, Mike. I'm saying that you're a quarterback. If you reached out to a former OC or a former position coach who's in position and he says, hey, let your boy get a tryout. They bring you in, you throw, it doesn't work out. But they're not bringing you in after 6 years, Mike, and says, okay, Mike, you could try out for wide receiver. You could try out for a running back. That's not happening.
Do you think, Shannon Sharpe, that Tim Tebow can help Urban Meyer win football games?
No.
Okay, I'm a big yes on that because he knows how to use him. He would tell you today, Tim Tebow is nothing but a football player. He is the competitor at the highest level. And if you occasionally put the ball in his hands in big moments and big games, he will make plays for you.
So you mean to tell me of all these 250-plus guys they got drafted and all these free agents, he couldn't find one tight end that could give him what Tim Tebow gives him on the football field? Not one. So you telling me, Mike, they're not out of 200, all these guys they got drafted, all these free agents, all these guys when they had free agency, he couldn't find one? You gonna get a guy that was 6 years removed that plays a different position?
They say they had some good times together. They won a national championship. If I'm a head coach down the road and the opportunities open up and I can bring one of my young guys back, a guy who played for me and helped me and can move.
Bring him in as a counselor. Bring him in as team chaplain. Okay, fine. You gave him a job. You gave him a role. You found a role for him close to the team that can tutor some young guys. Mike Vick, you've been in too many locker rooms too long. You know good and well, ain't nobody listening to the 50th guy on the roster, Mike. That ain't happening.
Shannon, he's not the 50th guy on the roster.
Yes, he is. He's the 53rd.
Got some respect, man. Put some respect on Tim's name. Now, I can't say he can block or catch, but what I can convey is that, he's a good spirited guy, man, and I like what he brings to the table as a football player.
Mike.
He can be an H-back. Shay, do you think he can be an H-back?
No, Mike. You know in that locker room space is limited. Can you play? How many times you done looked around at a guy like that guy ain't got no business on this team? Who does he know? What's the saying, Mike? I wonder who he got tape on. That he's still on this locker. Don't do that, Mike. Mike, you've been in the locker room 16, 17 years. You know.
That's the intriguing part about the league. We'll get a chance to watch and see how this whole thing unfolds because, Urban's not going to make a decision that's going to put himself in jeopardy.
He already did it. Urban Meyer got 5-6 years security. See, Urban is used to, when he's at Florida, when he was at Ohio State, Urban Meyer used to do it. That's why he hired that strength and conditioning coach that got fired from Iowa. That's why he did, because Urban used to do what Urban wants to do. So Urban is going to do what Urban wants to do. Urban got security. You got the first pick in the draft. Mike, you got the first pick in the draft. Trevor Lawrence. Mel Kiper Jr. said in 43 years, he's the fourth best quarterback he's ever graded. You go from that and you take a guy that hadn't played in 6 years and you switch his positions and you think that's like, wow, Urban's a genius?
I don't think, Shay, I don't think Tebow is going to be a starter, week one starter at the tight end position. He'll either be a backup quarterback, he'll play some type of special teams, but he will be on that team.
The backup role's
He ain't never played special teams, Mike.
Watch him. Brings up a good point about the backup role. That's a good point. Mike, we appreciate it. I'm sorry, I wish we had more time, but don't worry. We're going to be continuing to talk about Tebow time. No mercy. According to NFL Network, the Packers have been trying to lure Aaron Rodgers back over the past few weeks, including offering him a, quote, significant long-term contract extension. However, Rodgers' issues with the team clearly aren't tied just to the money, and the two sides have a ways to go before the reigning MVP is in a good place. So, Shannon, you've been campaigning for the Broncos to go get him. Are you now convinced Rodgers will re-sign with the Packers?
Skip, I believe this is what Rodgers wanted all along. He wanted the commitment. He knows that, Skip, when you draft a quarterback in the first round, they traded up to get him. You know you pretty much on borrowed time. And it was coming to a point that they didn't owe him any more guaranteed money. So after this year, they owed him no more guaranteed money. They paid that $6.5 million roster bonus, and they were going to be able to wash their hands. He wanted a commitment, it seems to me. He did this. Now, Adam Schefter helped him out a lot, so he might need to send Adam a $1 million bonus because when Adam released this, it's not going to have the same pizzazz if he releases this in February. He releases this in March, but he timed it perfectly.
Adam would not be able to accept that bonus.
He couldn't?
No, he could not. He might send him flowers.
You put it in Bitcoin.
Yes, okay. All right.
But so with that being said, Skip, is that what he wanted was a financial commitment that you keep saying, I'm your guy. That you're with, you're blessing me for the long term. Well, the way you show your commitment is give me more extended years and give me guaranteed money. Skip, I don't see the rush because you got Jordan Love for 5 years. You don't have to pick up that fifth year option. You make him play it out. So you give Aaron Rodgers, and I'm thinking Aaron Rodgers is going to want at the bare minimum, Skip. He's going to want to have guaranteed money for at least 3 years. And so with that being said, it looks like they're probably going to have to go to that fifth year, and probably the fifth year is when they get an opportunity to look at Jordan Love, where they're going to have to make a decision. Do we keep him? Do we move on? Do we go into the draft again? But I believe This is what Aaron Rodgers wanted all along, was a commitment. He flexed his muscle, saying, okay, this is what y'all want to do, good kids? Mark Murphy, you'll have a quick kiss to Pinky. I'm the godfather of Green Bay. And guess what, Skip? All that talking, don't you be the problem, all that other stuff, guess what he did? Turn around and bow down. And Aaron Rodgers win. In the end, good trumped evil.
They're not just kissing his pinky. They're kissing his feet. That's what they're kissing right now.
They're kissing the you-know-what.
Yeah, they're kissing that also. So you are now willing to concede none of this, the Broncos talk is over, right? No more Aaron Rodgers to Denver.
I don't believe so.
No more Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders. No more Aaron Rodgers wants to go west.
There seems to be, the report says there seem to be some issues they got to work through.
Yeah.
But the money issues, the big issue, Skip, seems to be resolved.
Okay. So I am here to say that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the Packers quarterback, and he's going to be the highest paid quarterback, even beyond Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
For the next foreseeable, 3 years, whatever it is, at least 3 more years.
Yes.
So I say congratulations, Aaron Rodgers. He just took the entire NFL on a ride.
A great ride. Yeah, he had us.
This was the all-time flim-flam from, I think, the greatest media manipulator, master media manipulator I've encountered in the NFL. LeBron's up there in the NBA, but this guy, what he just pulled off in classic all-time blame deflection is to be revered. He's got a second career here as a media analyst or advisor. You know, he could do whatever he wants.
Jeopardy host.
He is not going to get that. He used that as part of this whole flim-flam.
Why you hating?
To turn up the heat on the Packers. I want to be the permanent Jeopardy host. I love this, and they love me. He used all of his friends, all of his ex-players. He carefully planted the seeds of discontent in Green Bay. He wants out. Oh, my God, he wants out. And everybody in and around Packer Nation forgot that he just blew a home playoff game. He just stunk in the fourth quarter of a home NFC Championship game. He had he had his dream come true, and he lost, and he fell to 1-4 in NFC Championship games. Really, 1-4, and he's got 9 touchdown passes in those 5 games to only 8 interceptions. To only 8? Wait, 9 to 8? He almost has as many interceptions as touchdown passes in 5 NFC Championship games, and the one he won, if I could dare to remind you, was against Caleb Haney subbing for Jay Cutler in the second half at Chicago. That's the one he won to get to the Super Bowl that he finally won a long time ago, as you remember. 1 Super Bowl, 1 victory. I'll give you that. But since that Super Bowl, he's 7-8 in the postseason. Really? And the 7 are all sort of flawed. They're all...
Ain't no flawed playoff win. Stop doing that.
Got to beat Joe Webb at quarterback, a receiver at quarterback for the Vikings, that they were in such bad shape.
You play who is in front of you.
Really? He got to beat Kirk Cousins when he was still Kirk Cousins in Washington. Really? He got to beat the Dez caught it game. He got the ultimate break because Dez caught it. You know it, and everybody knows it. He got the Odell boat trip game at Lambeau when Eli was hot and Odell dropped the early 3rd down pass and then dropped a touchdown pass. He benefited from all the above. He benefited from Mason Crossbar kicking 2 intergalactic field goals of 51 and 56 yards to beat my Cowboys.
He put him in range.
Yeah, he did.
Aaron Rodgers wanted a commitment that seemed to be in question. The Green Bay's commitment to him. When you draft a quarterback, the quarterback that's already on your team has to question, are they committed to me? And for how much longer are they committed to me? It seems to me that Aaron has got the assurances financially that they're going to be committed to him for at least 3 years, Skip. That's what he wanted all along because the writing was on the wall. Everybody, we took a quarterback and yada, yada, yada. He said, well, I bet y'all don't play it. Once y'all give me this $46 million a year, guess what? Dak was the highest paid, and that's normally how it works. You get to be the highest paid for a week or month or maybe 5-6 months. But Aaron Rodgers finna come back and whatever Dak got, he's about to one-up that for $1 million. So the 66, he'll probably get 67 at the time of signing. The first year, he'll probably get 76. The Dak 75. That's the way it works.
Okay, and he had his old friend Brett Favre, they used to be enemies, now they're friends, not just drop hints, drop bombshells that Oh, I don't think there's any way Aaron's going back to play for the Packers. Once he's dug in, he is dug in. And then he even had, as late as a couple of days back, he had Devontae on Colin's show, Devontae Adams, talk about, I'd have to think hard. If
Yeah, you would.
Hard. Oh, okay.
Why would I want to be in Green Bay, cold as it is, and ain't got that guy?
Close that deal for Aaron. Thank you very much, Devontae.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, Skip.
So, and then all of a sudden we had new hints dropped by old friends of his, John Kuhn and James Jones, saying, I think this is fixable, said James. Oh, that's when I knew, aha,
how
here
big
we
a
go.
check?
Yeah.
How big check to fix it? There ain't a whole lot of check can't fix.
Yep. Now, next we'll have Gutekunst do a big public apology to Aaron, kiss his feet, kiss his you-know-what. and all of a sudden he went from, how could you blow that game to Tom Brady at home to, oh, we love you, Aaron. He has now turned back into a sympathetic figure because of his beautiful media manipulation.
But still, we won't be doing a press conference next to Gutekunst.
No way.
No.
No.
But we're going to take that check from him, though.
He's Jerry Krause. He's Michael. So now Aaron's gotten away with comparing himself to Michael Jordan. Right?
He did not say he was Michael Jordan. He just said the other guy was Jerry Krause.
He's my Jerry Krause, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Way to go. We all swallowed it.
Aaron, we got more
line and stinker. That's what he's followed.
We got more money.
Stinker
We got more money. We got more money in Denver, Aaron. And we'll appreciate you.
You lost out on
Trying, you're still trying.
And you did your part to get him paid, too.
Well, that's okay. The Broncos still have a better record than your team.
Maybe.
How you feel about that?
Well, you stole our cornerback or we'd be in business, right?
Skip, you got Michael Parsons.
Stole him. Stole him. Okay.
I wanted Patrick Surtain, and you got him.
Exactly.
I'm just waiting on hearing from Aaron Rodgers at this point. I want to know what he is thinking. I think he secretly loves that we're all talking about all of it, and he's just sitting back and letting this thing play out. No mercy. LeBron James is likely to play against the Knicks tonight after dealing with a sore right ankle. Lakers coach Frank Vogel said that LeBron was a full participant in practice yesterday, which seems to be a good indicator that his injured ankle has recovered well after taking the past 4 games off. And according to Fox Bet, LeBron's return gives the Lakers the second best odds to win the title, trailing only the Nets at this point. We're now joined by Chris Broussard. Chris, with LeBron returning, should the Lakers now be the favorites?
Absolutely. In the West. All right. If LeBron James plays 85, if he plays every playoff game at 85 to 90% and maybe gets better as the playoffs go on as far as percentage of health, and AD truly is back like he's played the last 2 games, then I got the Lakers in the West. I mean, Utah, congratulations, great season, but they're not scaring anybody. There's no way you're taking Donovan Mitchell, who looks like he'll be back for the playoffs, and Bogdan Bogdanovic or Rudy Gobert, whoever, over LeBron and AD. Phoenix, congratulations, great season. You're not scaring anybody. Same goes for Denver. The only team in the West that could, and I'm not saying they would, but that could possibly beat the Lakers would be the Clippers in my view. Now, I'm picking the Lakers over them, but I think only the Clippers are the team that has a legitimate chance to beat the Lakers in the season if LeBron and AD are near the tops of their games. Because the thing is this, in every series out West, the Lakers would have the 2 best players. Or at least 2 of the 3 best players. I'll put Kawhi ahead of AD. So 2 of the 3 best players. Now, we get to the finals. I think the only other team in the league that can beat the Lakers is Brooklyn. So if James Harden, kind of like LeBron, if James Harden plays every game, then I've got Brooklyn. And if they get to the finals, that means they're clicking. That means they're playing well. They've gone through Milwaukee. They've gone through Philadelphia. And they'll be at the top of their game. So I think I would take Brooklyn over the Lakers in the finals because, again, that's a series where the Lakers wouldn't have, I don't think they would have 2 of the 3 best players. I think James Harden, KD, and LeBron are the 3 best players in that series. So I've got Brooklyn overall, but the Lakers in the West.
I agree with you. And the question is, how close to 100% he can get. And everything is predicated for me, Skip, is him not re-injuring that ankle at any point in time. Not a nick, not anything, not re-injuring that. And AD continues to build. Chris, you and I were talking off air. You remember what Michael looked like, Skip, when he first came back out of retirement. He was slipping all over the place. And even after he dropped the double nickel game in the Garden, he still wasn't the same because we saw him in the playoffs. It wasn't until the following year in which he came back that he looked like, okay, he back. Damn. He back. We in trouble. And so AD took him a little longer.
Michael had been gone for 2 years.
But that's
what are you talking about?
But Skip, what I'm saying, you don't just fall right back out of bed and pick up where you left off, no matter how great you are. Michael should have been able to be gone for 20 years, considering you the great. Jesus with shoes, gym shoes, right? Mm-hmm. He got out with gym shoes. That's what you tell me.
Well, that's what everybody tells.
Ain't nobody told you that.
Everybody,
said that.
Even Chris Broussard tells you that.
For me, they're going to have to go the long way. It's hard for me to see them any other way, Chris, than being in the play-in. And looks like they're probably going to have to deal with the Golden State Warriors. And Steph is on a historic pace as far as scoring and shooting the basketball. But I like their chances. If they're healthy, I agree. If LeBron and AD are healthy, they're coming up out of the West. I like that. The Clippers, nobody scares me. I'm going to sleep real good. I might not even watch the game because I just wake up in the morning because I already know what happened. Sometimes, you already know what happened. You know, I used to get my tea pulled and put it up under my pillow. I slept real good. I didn't keep checking because I already know the Tooth Fairy's going to drop that 50-cent piece off. So I was good. Lakers get to the Western Conference Finals, Skip. I might not even watch no game because I already know what's going to happen. Sleep real good.
I thought a storm was coming a couple of weeks ago.
It was.
And it came
took
against
a turn.
Sacramento. And the Storm missed the last-second shot. And somehow he re-injured his pride.
No.
And then the Storm came back the next game against Toronto at home, and he re-injured his pride again.
No, he did, Skip.
I don't know what happened.
You know the man, he wasn't the same player. But guess what? They say he got that bounce back. They say he got that twinkle in his eye.
He's got his lift and his explosion back. He's 100%.
That the people,
100.
The people tell me that's close to LeBron said the last time they saw that twinkle in his eye when he met Savannah. They said that was the last time they seen a twinkle in his eye like that. He met one Savannah. She was in the 8th grade. So I don't know the truth.
He's going to marry this year's trophy? I don't know.
The last time he had a twinkle in his eye, he had that bounce, that step.
Really?
He went back to school the next day.
Okay, so no more excuses. It's over. It's over. He's ready to get married, right?
There you go.
That's what you just told me.
Skip, everybody's injured, though.
Okay, look. The quiet storm lives in the basement at Staples, and you keep overlooking the quiet storm because you don't see him until he's come and gone.
They lost to the Knicks.
No, the team that's going to knock you off before you get to the finals. The deepest team in the NBA is the Clippers, not the Nets, the Clippers. They lead in three-point shooting. They lead in free throw shooting. And now they have a three-headed monster in the post that you will not be able to contend with because they got Zoo, they got Serge, and they got DeMarcus Cousins, who's looking like Boogie to me. He's looking like he's boogied right back into the action, right?
You still got Drum.
Oh, you got the big penguin, and he's been a disaster so far. And LeBron's going to despise playing with the big penguin. He's a space eater. He's a ball eater. He just takes up the lane, and he and AD are going to clash in the postseason. It's a bad fit. I first guessed it.
And Chris, did you notice? Drummond and AD going to clash. AD just had 36, just had 42 with Drum on the court.
Yeah, because they basically took him out of the rotation and reinserted, Trez, the guy we rejected, Trez, because he was a locker room problem.
He ain't no locker room problem. He's a model of consistency.
You cannot understand is you don't have your unsung MVP from the bubble. Rondo now quarterbacks the Clippers. He will get them home against the Lakers.
gave him that work. Did you see what D-Rose did to him on Sunday, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm with you, Skip, on Rondo, and Boogie looks good.
He does.
I'm surprised by Boogie. Yeah, he looks good, and obviously Rondo is playing well. But don't forget about Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder is better than Rondo at this stage. No. Now, I know there's playoff Rondo.
No.
But I think Schroeder's got heart. I think Schroeder will play well. I'm not saying he'll necessarily outplay Rondo, but he'll give him some trouble. You know, he'll give Kyrie some trouble if they meet the Nets. Like, Schroeder is a little dog, and he's going to get after it. So, yeah, look, the Clippers are very good. We know they want the Lakers. But I know, Skip, you're high on playoff P. But we don't know. We don't know what playoff P is going to look like. He's looked great in many regular seasons and faded in the playoffs. So you might get playoff Rondo and way off P.
Hey, they need to wake up Kawhi. I mean, you talk about Kawhi had 29 points on Sunday, but it took him 26 shots to get it.
He almost got them home by himself.
He was the reason they were down.
Right now, the Knicks are a buzzsaw, and you're going to have to deal with them tonight. So welcome back, LeBron, to face the fourth best defensive team in basketball.
Hey, hold on.
LeBron will have a hard time tonight against the Knicks because everybody does.
Hey, Chris, I know you saw this, but those last two buckets when they needed clutch, they put the ball in Drew Randall's hand. And he had Kawhi on it one time, he had Paul George on it one time. And what did he get? What did he get?
Really good.
Right.
He's turned into a big star for the Knicks.
And so y'all got
and by the way, you could still have him. You could still have him. He was a Laker.
He was a Laker.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to be able to be that with LeBron. Brandon Ingram wasn't going to be that with LeBron. AD. Give me AD. I guarantee you, ain't no Laker fan upset that they got AD over Julius Randle. Find one.
Unless he cramps. He's always cramping.
42.
He's always got back spasms.
You know,
Something's
AD
wrong.
is the key.
Think about all the great big men.
Yelling that he's back. If he's really back, that's the key.
I think 80's a pretty good point.
You
Chris,
know ain't nobody had a stat line like he had. 42, 12, 5, and 3.
Shannon, okay, we're wrapping
That's
this thing
saying
up.
something
Chris,
for the Lakers.
we appreciate you. Thank you for weighing in. We'll check in soon.
No mercy.
Colin, LeBron is expected to return against the Knicks tonight after missing the past 4 games while resting his sore right ankle. LeBron has said that his body will never be back to 100% again, but Lakers coach Frank Vogel said the King wasn't limited in practice at all yesterday. So, Shannon, what do you expect LeBron's line to be tonight?
28, 10, and 8. Just like that. We back.
Why not 10 and 10?
No.
We got a little Russell Westbrook.
No. That's what we do. Gonna keep AD going. Yeah. Other guys, Caruso chipping in, KCP doing what he does. THT, good.
How many minutes?
I think we good for about 32 minutes tonight.
32 minutes?
Yeah. Because we're gonna push it because we're gonna take tomorrow off. So we can push it. You know, hey, boss said, hey, y'all work a little overtime. I give you tomorrow off.
So I'm going to remind you, this is not exactly coming back against Sacramento
there you
like
go.
last
the
time.
Knicks.
This is the Knicks.
Yeah.
Fourth in defensive efficiency. They will make it hard on. This will not be any walk in the park for LeBron. I say he lasts 25 minutes because that's all he should play. And I'm going to give him 18, 6, and 7, which will be a nice night against the Knicks because the score is going to be lower and his numbers will be down.
They're going to be low?
Yep.
We're going to get 110 plus.
Are you?
Yeah.
Blow them out the way the Clippers didn't?
Yeah. But you have so much to say when the Lakers lost to them originally. Oh, that's the Knicks team. And they beat the brakes off you.
They did not beat the brakes off. It came down to the last couple of shots, and Kawhi just kept making them.
No, he kept missing them at first.
Yeah.
He kept missing them at first.
Well, they only went
28, 10, and 8.
Yeah. Okay, I wrote it down. 28.
Write it down.
Book it.
Remember that for tomorrow. Yes, all is right in the world. LeBron is back playing. Good stuff today, guys. Can't believe Tebow time is a real thing. We're back tomorrow. The Hood is on now. Have a good one.
Is it?